Okay.
With the release and reception of Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 being pretty positive everywhere I've looked, it seems like we have evidence that this formula for a beat-em-up is still viable in 2019. If anything the game has shown us post-release, it's the fact that people can easily gravitate to a game that's very approachable. Maybe there is a little bit too much similarity between the way these characters feel amongst one another, at least as far as similar character archetypes are concerned. But that's okay, because the whole idea behind Ultimate Alliance 3 is the constant switching between characters, playing with your friends, getting used to a group that feels right for you. So this pretty straightforward method of gameplay that was a detriment for some people based on the reviews of the game, and a recent nostalgia wave that's come over me about old licensed IP games is making me curious about the formula of Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Basically what it comes down to is a dungeon crawling beat 'em up where your characters have special abilities, they have their supers, and I would say the main draw of it is the couch co-op, the scenarios, crafting your own superhero team, and my previous attachment to the Marvel cast of characters. Marvel is at an all-time high right now, and Ultimate Alliance 3 is riding that wave to its benefit. I'm curious if this formula would work so well and be received so well. As we saw, it sold way over expectations on the Switch. It was one of the best performing games of the year so far for that platform. Is it just because of the Marvel name? Is it a mix of the Marvel name and what I mentioned about it being very approachable? So I do think it would be foolish to brush away the success of this game based on the Marvel aspect of it. If this was just a generic cast of characters, it could probably be getting some similar reviews, and maybe the prior attachment to characters like Thor or Iron Man wouldn't give you the bonus of feeling that extra fun on top of how simple and approachable the combat is. But I think there's something to be said about how basically satisfying it is to beat up lots of people, see numbers go up. It's pretty much basic game design for a lot of those popular MMOs, the Diablos, the Destinies, the Borderlands. There's something that's just satisfying about it. So outside of that, I want to have a discussion about what properties I think could probably either benefit from having the beat-em-up style game treatment like Ultimate Alliance, or having something that fleshes out, maybe makes it more unique for this specific IP, but at its core is still insanely approachable. First off, the obvious comparison. I think a DC game would just make so much sense like this. You obviously have 80 plus years of characters to draw from. You got Batman, you got Superman, Wonder Woman, the Justice League Dark, the Teen Titans, the New Gods. There's so much to pull from with DC, and it's pretty much maybe not as iconic as a lot of the Marvel cast is to this day, thanks to the MCU, but they definitely have their fans, and I think if you did have a beat-em-up that's as vast a roster with DC characters, with DC scenarios, Darkseid, Joker, Lex Luthor, maybe they even pursue a Crisis-like storyline where you can bring in different eras of Batman and Superman interpretations we've seen over the years. I think there's just so much potential for a DC Justice League style beat-em-up that could really learn from the success of Ultimate Alliance. Next up, series I love dearly. I'll try to picture any style game in this world, and that's Star Wars. Star Wars Battlefront, you know, it has its moments. I enjoy the scale and scope, but there's a lot to be desired with those games. Jedi Fallen Order, I'm getting more and more excited for after I saw the combat from E3. Got me way more interested than that reveal trailer did. I'm more invested in the lore now, but I think that's one of the downsides to Star Wars expanded property now, is that they all have to fit in the canon somehow. We see something like Galaxy of Heroes, the EA published mobile game, where you get different versions of characters and different eras of characters to enlist in your squad to go through turn-based battles. That works, they're allowed to do that, so for hypothetical sake, 12 Jedi, 12 Sith, 12 in-betweeners. You could make, if they were allowed to, a very original story in the Star Wars universe that could take all these different things at face value. At least the combat with the lightsabers and the force powers could fit well into the beat 'em up style of Ultimate Alliance. There's tons of others that I think could work well in this. Obviously, it's probably time for a new Ninja Turtles game to see the light of day. I'd love to see Rocksteady do it though. My Hero Academia, again, fitting in that superhero lineup, I think that could work pretty sweet. But the last one I want to leave you with in terms of all this that I think could work very well. Again, similar to Star Wars, I'll try to pitch Harry Potter whenever I can. I think Harry Potter having that wide cast of witches and wizards across several different eras at this point. We got the Marauders, the Harry Potter era, the Fantastic Beasts era. I think there's a lot that you can do there. There's a lot with those characters. You could easily make some side story with the Time Turner, get Harry and his parents reunited. There's so much potential for so many of these games to really just cut loose, forget their rules, and have some fun. Marvel and DC, I think, have the easiest way to approach it because they do have that thriving, living universe they could pull from. Batman and Superman already exist in the same universe. It's harder with Star Wars where you get Luke and Anakin side by side. But I do think that there's something to be said about how the reception to Ultimate Alliance 3 was so positive, how the sales numbers back it up, and the simple, satisfying, approachable gameplay that is a lot of button mashing, but has some cool elements to it, and is all centralized on that cast of characters. Did you enjoy? Have you enjoyed? Are you enjoying your time with Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3? And if you are, what other series would you like to see that formula adapted to? Because I really think that for how simple it is, it could really be copy-pasted and still work just as well if they really nail that balance of characters and scenarios. I'm curious to hear what you have to say. If you stuck around this long, thank you so much. Thank you for checking out the channel, and thank you for subscribing. I've had a crazy past week. Happy to be doing content again. And while I was gone, we hit 900 subscribers, very close to the 1,000 goal that I had for the beginning of September. So thank you so much for that. From the bottom of my heart, it means more to me than you realize. But until next time, as always, thanks again, good vibes, and good game.